Tonight, breaking news just moments ago. President Trump ordering sweeping new tariffs, major tariffs on our trading partners. Economists already warning that Americans will see higher prices, and the markets responding already tonight. Also breaking at this hour, the highest level warning for tornadoes and floods in the hours ahead. Those storms moving in right now. And you'll see the images tonight, passengers evacuating on the wing of a plane. First tonight, President Trump imposing those major tariffs on America's trading partners. Economists say the highest tariffs on goods coming into the U.S. in more than a century, and that Americans will be paying higher prices. President Trump tonight arguing it's necessary to bring manufacturing back. In addition to 25% tariff on all imported vehicles going into effect at midnight. What this now means for anyone planning on buying a car. Tonight, the market's responding with the futures are indicating already. Also at this hour, what authorities are calling a multi-day, life-threatening storm from Texas up to Michigan, then moving east. The highest threat level at this hour for tornadoes and flash flooding. One twister on the ground for 17 miles. Ginger Z in the storm zone. She'll time this out. Tonight, passengers evacuating on the wing of a plane. An American Airlines flight evacuated just moments after landing, and the reason behind it. Tonight, how much longer will Elon Musk have his role alongside President Trump? What sources are now telling ABC News. The deadly scene, the suspect opening fire inside of Walgreens. Tonight, authorities revealing the possible motive. The tragedy for a family on spring break, a 7-year-old girl killed by a falling boulder. Facing a Saturday deadline, the major U.S. company tonight now making a last-minute bid to buy TikTok. And tonight, celebrating actor Val Kilmer.
You can be my wingman anytime.
Tonight, hear this question. Do you know how he got that nickname in Top Gun? As we also remember his roles in Batman Forever, The Doors, and Tombstone.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Wednesday night. These life-threatening storms moving in, the highest threat level for tornadoes and storms, multiple states. We're going to go live to Ginger Z in the storm zone with the forecast in a moment. But we do begin tonight with President Trump and his sweeping new tariffs announced just a short time ago on goods coming into the U.S. Economists say these are the highest tariffs on America's trading partners and our allies in more than a century, and they warn that Americans will see higher prices. President Trump late today in the Rose Garden calling this Liberation Day to free America from dependence on foreign goods, holding up a chart and revealing the sweeping new tariffs, a baseline 10% tariff on all countries, and even higher in some cases, 20% tariffs on the EU, 34% on China, 24% on Japan, 26% on India. The president saying these are reciprocal tariffs, arguing you do it to us, we'll do it to you. But economists warn the tariffs on these goods coming into the U.S. will be paid for by businesses and stores bringing them in and then passing that cost on to consumers. Now, just before the announcement in the Rose Garden, the Dow closing up 235 points at 42,225. But soon after the president's sweeping tariffs were announced, take a look at the futures tonight. The Dow futures, the S&P 500, NASDAQ futures, all turning negative on the news. A forecast, of course, of what could be coming tomorrow. President Trump has acknowledged Americans could feel short-term pain here, but he argues it's necessary to bring manufacturing back. ABC senior political correspondent Rachel Scott was in the Rose Garden. She leads us off tonight.
Tonight, with the whole world watching, President Trump in the Rose Garden announcing a sweeping set of tariffs on goods from every country that trades with the United States, a move that threatens to upend the global economy and spike the cost of living for American families. The president insists it's necessary to bring jobs and manufacturing back to America.
This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history. It's our declaration of economic independence.
The president today declaring a national emergency, imposing a 10% tariff on nearly all foreign imports. Roughly 60 countries, including some of America's closest trading partners, will face even steeper tariffs. A 34% tariff on all imports from China, a 25% tariff on products from South Korea, a 20% tariff on goods from the European Union. President Trump says the higher penalties come in response to tariffs those countries impose on American products they import.
European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad.
But economists point out tariffs on foreign goods coming into the U.S. are actually taxes paid by American businesses who pass on the cost to consumers by raising prices. Economists say these are the highest tariffs America has seen since the early 1900s.
The trade wars that we saw leading up to World War II are part of what got us into World War II. And so that's why we've been trading more with each other and trying to bring down trade barriers over time to avoid some of the kind of pain that we experienced during the Great Depression.
In the past, the president has acknowledged Americans could feel some short-term pain from his tariffs. But today, no mention of the burden families could soon face, with prices expected to rise on everything from clothing to groceries, iPhones to cars.
These tariffs are across the board. They're going to touch everything from going to the grocery store to going out to restaurants to even having to go to places like the movie theater and trying to have a little time off, because everywhere you go, there's some aspect that they have to import to do that.
Take cars, for example. President Trump is imposing a 25% tariff on all cars and parts coming into the country. In Glendale, Wisconsin, I asked Patrick Cumrow what it will mean for his car repair business.
Will you have to raise prices for your customers?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
By how much?
I guess the minimum is going to be 25% on all parts.
Patrick worries his business will suffer if tariffs force him to raise prices on his customers.
Their bill ultimately is going to be higher, and it's not getting us any more money. It's just taking from the customer and, passing it through.
But at the White House today, retired auto worker Brian Panabaker says even if it takes some time, this will lead to more manufacturing jobs.
I don't think it's going to be that long, but we have to be patient and let it happen. So we're happy that the auto workers support what President Trump is doing.
But on Capitol Hill, Democrats aware they lost the election in large part of grocery prices, tonight declaring Trump's policies are about to make things a lot worse.
This is not Liberation Day, it's Recession Day in the United States of America. That's what the Trump tariffs are going to do, crash the economy.
So let's bring in Rachel Scott. She's live at the White House tonight. Rachel, on that point right there, the president has said in recent days that these tariffs could cause short-term pain for the American people. He argues it's necessary, and he's also said at different points that Americans will understand. It's not something he talked about today. Both parties have acknowledged here that one of the key reasons President Trump won in November was on his promise to bring down prices. They often said on day one.
Yes, David, the president campaigned on that promise to bring down prices for American families. But even the president and Republicans on Capitol Hill have acknowledged that this could cause some short-term pain, that things could be a little rocky for a while with higher prices. The White House is asking Americans to trust them, saying that this will lead to more manufacturing jobs in the United States. The question tonight, how long will that take and how high will these prices rise, David?
A lot of the major questions right there laid out. Thank you, Rachel Scott, leading us off. The sweeping nature of these tariffs announced by President Trump